Hey guys, happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. So, before I start with the topic I have picked for today, I have to comment on something you have been reporting. But before I do that, I want to remind everybody that we have the first full moon of the year on January 3rd, and the slots for the skull spell are getting filled. I have three booked and I have two more available. So if anybody else wants one, please make sure to book on time because I do not accept last minute bookings, obviously, because with this spell, I need to make the candle in advance and just prep everything. So yeah. Anyways, the thing I wanted to comment was today, three of the newer clients have told me that other exes have reached out and they were quite confused why that has happened because it was in a way that was unexpected totally, and they haven't talked in years and all of that. So I do get this type of message on a regular basis from my clients, and this is something I have talked about a lot on the channel. So you already have audios on this topic existing, but I'm fully aware that as we have different batches of clients, every single one will experience this thing. So it's a side effect of your spell work. If you have done an X-Pack spell or any type of love working where we are working on an ex, or like a person that you broke up with, doesn't have to be our relationship, it can be a situationship, dating, whatever, right? But it's a person that you were connected with and then some sort of breakup happened. What tends to happen, and this happens for pretty much every single client, if they had previous connections, obviously, if it's not their first love, their first relationship, other exes will be reaching out. It's perfectly normal. There is no need to get, scared or confused. It happens to everyone. Like I said, pretty much everyone will experience this. It's a side effect. It's because we are working with that past energy, X energy, and then other X's will feel the energy as well and will, you know, have the wish to reach out. Of course, if your exes are in a happy relationships and marriages, most likely they won't be reaching out. But if they're still somewhat interested in you, they will be. And this happens all the time, guys, honestly, all the freaking time. And I get messages like this all the time. And I just reply, don't worry, it's normal, it's standard, it's a side effect. It doesn't mean that your ex, the one that we did spells for, will not reach out. Because a lot of people tend to think when this happens, oh, she has called the wrong ex. Hi, Svetlana. The wrong ex reached out. I get messages like that as well, a lot. So, no, that doesn't mean that your ex, the one that we did spell for, will not be reaching out. It doesn't mean that this ex was called instead of your ex. It just means that this ex has picked up on the energy as well, and they had way less resistance because you're not interested in them anymore. You don't have that block. You're not blocking that energy because you no longer are needy for them, desperate for them, and it was just totally free for them to reach out. They could just reach out straight away. So that's the thing that happened there. So I hope everybody understands. I have more in-depth explanations of this on the channel, so if you want to check it out, you can find those audios for sure here on the channel. And perfectly normal, happens to everyone. Okay, so let's get into the topic that I actually wanted to talk about, and that is triggers and reactions. So guys, when you get triggered about something and you react a certain way, whatever it is, however it is, This is something that is so important. I think that triggers are blessings, even though obviously they are uncomfortable and there's something that we need to work on and something we need to change. We need to, work on those. They're blessings because they show you exactly what is still unhealed, what is still bothering you, where the wound is still. They kind of show you exactly where you need to work. So if you are a bit confused with what should I be working on with this, working on myself, like she said, what is it? Look at your triggers, just observe them on a daily basis, the things that trigger you, and write them down, and then discover why and what is happening there. Why am I triggered? So I'm going to give you an example now so you can kind of understand better what I'm talking about. So, a lot of us will be triggered when, something happens where, a person ghosts us, or a person chooses somebody else, or a person, just becomes, distant and cold. And you will notice that you're triggered if you get really anxious. You're anxious now, what's happening? You're waiting for their reply, or, they ghost you, and then you're like just hoping they're gonna reach out, and you're obsessively looking at the phone because you're triggered. So that is one way of finding out. And of course, then it's just gonna be the same thing that we pretty much all have, well, a lot of us have, which is I'm not chosen, I'm not good enough. And then if you go on and reach out to them, or you find ways to reach out, or you're making those little shenanigans where you are putting your photo on social media or on a story or something just to get their reaction and get their attention. This is basically why you're doing it, is because you think that you have to do something to get somebody's attention. You're not good enough unless you kind of post something and then get a reaction. And you need that validation as well. It shows that you still need somebody's validation because you need that like, you need that response, you need that, little reward, or somebody telling you look good, you're pretty, whatever it is, which is an indicator or on what you need to work on, because you're not validating yourself. You need that outside validation. Or if you're gonna be like chasing them in a form, now this is chasing as well, don't get me wrong, it's chasing, all of it is chasing. Or if you're gonna be chasing them in a way that you're gonna be sending them some messages, or like trying to prove your worth, those messages where you're trying to kind of persuade them into staying, or into like getting interested in you again. You're going to be trying to sell yourself in a way that is also showing you what you're lacking. So basically you think you're not good enough like you the way you are, and you think that you need to manipulate somebody into liking you, persuade somebody into liking you, prove to somebody they should be with you, they should be chasing you, they should be liking you, whatever it is. Those are all signs, and they're pointing to you what you need to stop doing and where you need to focus your self work. Very, very important. So, your reactions and the way you react to your triggers, and your triggers are showing you what you need to fix. It's the best way to find out what you need to work on, what triggers you, how do you react to your triggers. All of that is showing you what you need to fix. And I have gave you some of the most common examples that I see with clients. Most likely some of them you are doing or were doing in the past. And these are the things you need to work on. Because once you actually validate yourself and you know that you deserve attention and you deserve, text messages or whatever, just the way you are, that you don't need to do anything special to gain them, and you don't need to get anybody's attention or manipulate anybody. That is when, sorry, you are just gonna stop with that behavior, because it's all needy behavior, right? Oh, I'm gonna post myself in a bikini and now everybody's gonna like it, and my person will reach out to me to tell me how hot I look. That is type of manipulation, right? Even if you think it's not, it is, believe me. So why are you doing that? Why do you think you need to post a bikini photo to get somebody's attention? Aren't you good enough for someone to reach out just the way you are, with your clothes on or whatever, it's just a silly example. But that's the thing. I think that a lot of the women that post photos where they have little clothes on, it's usually for attention and validation. And don't get me wrong, a confident person can post a photo like that as well. Oh, I just looked really good in that miniskirt. I'm gonna post it because I just want it. I want to show it and I want it there. But it all depends what your intentions are with the photo, right? I'm not saying that nobody should be posting their photos on social media, because social media is about posting photos, obviously. Instagram is specifically made for photos. So that's not what's behind this. What I'm trying to say is, what is your intention when you post a photo? Is it to gain likes, validation? Do you need people to, tell you look really good, because that will make you feel like you look really good and you just need that attention? Or is it because you're just confident and you want to share a photo and that's it? you know think about that. And when are you sharing those photos? Are you sharing those photos when your person stops replying, or when you get into an argument, when you're trying to get their attention? Or are you just doing it randomly when you feel like it and when you want it? That is a big difference again. So I hope this makes sense, guys. Monitor your triggers. Please, the way you react, monitor it. The way, when you get triggered, the way you feel. When somebody says something mean to you, how does that make you feel? What do you want? How do you want to react? Are you going to think about it for 2 weeks or a month or forever? Or are you just going to let it go after a few hours? Think about it really, really well. Think about, where are your reactions coming from? For example, if somebody rejects you, people will react differently to rejection, because people will be on different levels, obviously, with their self-awareness and all of the vibrational work. So, do you try to get their attention? Do you try to beg? Do you try to convince them that you are really great? Or do you maybe get angry and then send them some mean stuff, tell them some mean stuff about them? Where is that coming from? Is it maybe because you are really hurt because you are not being chosen, and you're taking it very personally that you're not being chosen, and then you're reacting from that inner child? You know how little kids react when they don't get what they want? They make a big scene at the store, for example. So that's kind of you, that's that behavior. And then, their mother just gives them whatever they want to calm them down. So you're expecting that if you make this big argument, if you make this big scene, you're gonna get what you want. But that's not how it works when you're an adult, unfortunately. So think about, where are you reacting from? What is the problem? And then monitor yourself really, because that's how you find out where you need to focus, should I say, your self-work. Be very mindful all the time, because like I told you in the last audio, everything is programmed and everything makes sense, and there's a reason for everything. Those reactions you're having and the way you behave when you get, triggered, when you get upset, when you get rejected. None of it is random. None of it is random. All of it is coming from somewhere, and all of it can is showing you basically, I need to fix this, I need to heal this, I need to give myself validation. Those are the things that those triggers and those reactions are telling you. They are messengers, they are teachers. So don't think of them as something bad and something that, you should suppress or ignore, because they're telling you this is where you need to work. This is where you need to focus your work. It's so profound, guys. Everything, it just makes sense, and everything works in a certain way that is actually quite logical. So that is my message for today. Find out, why do you react the way you do? Why are you triggered by this, and this? And then work on it.